So if you've been watching my channel for a while, you imagine I know I've made a few videos on my channel about a dove nest that's on this satellite dish that I'm staring at here. The dove nest, I made a few videos on my channel of this dove nest. The last video I made of it was back in June when I made the video saying that the dove nest had returned, the nesting doves had returned. I first discovered this nest back in March, and the doves were sitting on it every day, and when the dove went away from the nest to get some food, I went up to my brother's window, which is just there, and looked, and there was in fact eggs in there, so the doves were sitting on eggs. But then later on in March, I noticed that there were no doves on the nest, and I peeked out my brother's window and noticed that there were no eggs in the nest either, so it did look like that maybe a bird of prey or a magpie or something came for it and unfortunately took the eggs away, and the doves had stopped nesting, so I was really disappointed. But then in June the doves started sitting on the nest again, and that was pretty much the last update I made out of this nest. So yeah, I made a video about them sitting on the nest, how they'd returned. After they returned, they sat on the nest for quite a while. They sat through most of June and into July, but then later on in July they left again, unfortunately. As you can see the nest now, this is the nest in October, it's completely empty, no eggs in there at all. It's just empty. We didn't get a dove nest. We didn't see any baby chicks being fed. The doves did come back in June, but it looked like it failed again because they left the nest, and yeah, they'd sat on it for quite a while, but it doesn't look like their nest was successful, unfortunately, which is really sad. So unfortunately I didn't see any nesting doves. Well, I did see the nesting doves, but unfortunately I didn't see any baby doves, unfortunately. Hopefully they'll return again next year. Hopefully the next time they try and build a nest there, hopefully they won't get their eggs snatched by a bird of prey or something. Hopefully they come back next year, and hopefully their nest is much more successful next year, hopefully. I still do see the doves knocking around. I still see them flying over the house and coming to the garden, so the two doves are still about, so they may come back again next year, but I'm not sure. But unfortunately their nest was unsuccessful this year, which is really disappointing. So yeah, but here is the nest, by the way, completely empty. There's nothing in there. Hopefully the doves come back next year. But this is just a quick update in case you guys were wondering what the dove nest was doing. This is it. No doves here anymore. There was no nest, no baby chicks or anything. So yeah, so that is the update on the nesting doves. It's not a good update, unfortunately. It is bad news. Hopefully they return next year. If they do return next year, hopefully they'll be much more successful next year nesting.